Hey, I am Chris Hadgis. I am here at the Repro Ride in Pomfret, Vermont, and we are here in support of bodily autonomy. We just did a killer gravel ride, and here to chat with me for the Radivist are these two lovely humans. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Graham Clark.
Allie Clark.
And these two are a father-daughter team, which is amazing, really cool. How did you guys hear about the Repro Ride?
A woman in my, like a mentor of mine who I ride with a lot, put an email out saying that she was out of town, but she wanted to do it and that we should.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And how old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 25.
You're 25?
Yeah.
Sir?
56.
56. Awesome. And why did you come out in support of this?
I have 3 daughters,
Okay.
and believe strongly that people should be able to, be in control of their own bodies. So
Right.
that's it.
That's wonderful. And what drew you to it personally?
My mom is an OBGYN, and so we just grew up with a lot of that kind of talk going around the house, and I think, with sisters and my mom. And
How old are your sisters, if you don't mind my asking?
I have a sister who's 29, a sister who's 26, and a sister who's 21.
Okay.
And I think it's just the 4 of us are like super fortunate to be able to like have the choice that we do have to, have safe and effective contraception when we need it. And so it's really cool to support that and get to do something I love to support that. So like, what an awesome, perfect mix.
And what's special about coming out here with your dad?
Well, my dad and I have been riding together for a long, long time, and these are roads that we've ridden together before, and so it's just another Saturday ride, but with, a really awesome cause underneath, and so every day on the road with him is good, but this one's awesome too.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. Last question here. In terms of our rights, and in Vermont specifically, there's a vote coming up on November 6th. Are you two participating in voting in that thing? And, in your age group, you're in your 20s, did you say there's not a lot of knowledge around that? Or
I'd say in my peer group, yes, but I think I'm also fortunate to have gone to college, and so yeah, we're both New Hampshire citizens or residents, so we won't be voting in Vermont, but voting in New Hampshire. Yeah.
My mom lives in Vermont, so she'll vote.
Yes. And a lot has come down hard on, older middle-aged men, if you excuse the phrase, but white men with privilege. How do you feel about that?
I guess I feel fortunate to be able to support my girls or my young ladies in being able to do the things they do. So I think that there's a lot of hypocrisy out there in the real world, and so I take exception to that. And I think everybody needs to have their, be clear about what they believe in and stand up for it.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. Is there anything I should have asked that I didn't?
I don't think so.
No? How was it for you? You have fun?
Oh, yeah. It was kicked my butt, but it was for a great cause, so it's always great. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more soon for the Radivist.
Great.
Thank you
You
guys.
get what you needed?
Yeah, absolutely. That wasn't too painful, was it?
No.
Okay. Good. All right. Awesome.
Friends of mine tell me about it, and the cause is what it's about, is really why I came.
What does it mean to you specifically in your life?
It doesn't have any it doesn't affect me directly, but, it's insane what's going on.
Okay.
I mean, women...
you can be candid, so like.
okay.
How
Women
do you feel?
we should just be able to live free. I mean, the country's going backwards instead of forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So anything I can do to better this cause is why I'm here.
And have you seen a trajectory just through your life of, fighting for women's rights and that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think women are still not treated fairly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not sure I believe in this. I don't think the Me Too movement has had all that much of an effect
And
on the
where
way
do
women
you-
should be treated.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Where do you
Yeah.
live, if you don't mind?
I live down in Arlington.
Okay. And
No.
how old are you?
I'm not going to say,
Okay.
but
What's your name? What's your first name?
Ricky.
Ricky.
Yes,
Okay, awesome.
okay.
From Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Vermont. That's in Vermont.
Yep, yep.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Yep.
much. Awesome. And would you mind telling us a little bit?
No, because I've got
Okay.
a general and I have a personal.
Oh, okay.
So, you know.
And you don't want to share either?
I will.
Oh, you do? Oh, great.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's important.
Okay,
I mean, my general is, last I understood, it took 2 to make a baby. And one has far more control over the act than the other. And the one with less control is left with the responsibility.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is just, it makes absolutely no sense. But who are our lawmakers?
Right.
I know, it makes me crazy.
Yep.
And to think, yes, this moment seems like we're a huge step backwards. We weren't much further forward 20 years ago in reality. So I had to have a therapeutic abortion in my second term. And I was in a very liberal state. No hospital would take me. My doctor just said, you have a condition that is not not life surviving, okay?
Wow.
And there's nothing I can do for you. Close the door.
Like it's terminal condition. Is that?
Yeah, for
Okay.
for the child. I mean,
Oh, I see.
right.
Right.
So,
It's life-threatening.
yeah, it was
Okay.
life-threatening. Not compatible with life. That's the word it was. You have a
Wow.
condition that's not compatible with life. Okay, so I'm in my second term. What do you do? Like, I don't know. So I called 4 of the big area hospitals of New Jersey. No, we don't keep anybody on staff who's trained to do second term abortions. It's just not part of our policy. This was 22 years ago.
Oh my God. And what state were you in?
New Jersey. So then finally I did find someone through my husband's and my late father's doctor, who's an oncologist, who's like the doctor from heaven, who's like, okay, I got somebody way up in northern New Jersey who's part of a university hospital. Like, she can do it. Like, I had to make all these phone calls by myself and figure it out, and then they helped me. And then this, wonderful woman, after I had the procedure, and then I was like, you're going to be my gynecologist obstetrician for the next babies, because I'm going forward with this. Her clinic was burned down.
Oh my God.
So that was when was Lindsay born? So that was in
intentionally
1990.
burned down by
Yes.
an arsonist?
Yes.
Oh my God. Was it like a
So
Planned
this is 21 years ago that it was burned down. So
Wow. And
Wha-
what was your doctor's reason for not helping you find someone that would do the procedure?
I think he was going on vacation.
Oh.
I'm dead serious. Well, he was the high risk guy
Uh-huh.
who actually then saved. Like, I won't go into it, but there are ironies. Like, I had other problems, and then he was the high risk guy who actually saved my next baby. So he was good at what he did.
Yeah.
But
Well,
some
thank you
guys
so
don't have. So
much.
anyway, that's
Yeah.
my take on this. Like,
And can you repeat your first name? I don't
Just
think we got
Liz.
it. Liz. Okay, Liz from
Believe it.
What part of
Southern Vermont.
Southern Vermont? Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing,
Yeah.
both of you. Okay. Hey, here we have another awesome person from Quechee, Vermont. Hi.
Hi, I'm Daphne.
Awesome. And Daphne, what brought you out today? Why do you think the Repro Ride is important?
Well, I think this sheds light on a really important amendment to our Constitution in Vermont that's going to be voted on by the people on November, whenever election day is, 6th.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And so I think that's really important. I do think that people need to really pay attention to the Dobbs case, and it goes way beyond reproductive freedom, but freedoms for that can be eroded for even more than just women. And anyway, freedoms that are eroded for women are freedoms that are eroded for men too.
Right.
And we should really be paying attention to that.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And I'm out here to say power to the people. Pedal power to the people.
So just like simply stating, in your heart and in your personal life, why is it important that we start speaking up more and create more awareness around this issue?
Well, I think that, we can get really complacent when we've had, rights that we take for, you start taking them for granted. When I think about our mothers, they didn't come up with these same rights. And suddenly my daughters don't have these rights. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I can't. I think my word is, scary. So rather than being frightened, I think action is really better, and education.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misinformation.
That's so true. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Is there anything
love
else you'd like to
that.
share around this subject?
I'm just really thankful that there are so many awesome people who wanted to put this together, pulled it together super quickly, did a fantastic job. So shout out. No, I don't know the names of all the people
That's
that did
okay.
it, but I heard there were like 40 volunteers too.
Oh
and
my
I think
gosh.
that's like incredible.
That's so incredible.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thanks, Daphne. Are you coming back?
Am I going to be on like?
Yeah, you'll be on NBC.
Okay, wait,
All right.
wait. Can I call timeout? What are we doing?
Just talk to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Awesome. So we're here with.
Jason Mihalides.
Very cool. And
Yep.
where do you live, Jason?
I live in Stowe, Vermont.
Okay.
Yep.
What brought you out here today? So this is the Repro Ride.
Right. So I think first and foremost, I can't lie, I think it's family. My sister-in-law is involved in organizing this whole thing, so I really wanted to come out and support her. But I think more importantly, the ride for bodily autonomy, which I feel like is the foundation of like all of our freedoms, like across the board. And I feel like that being taken away is sort of taking away like freedom on almost all levels. Because I feel like if you can't own what you can do with your own self-body thing, then it's like, you can't have anything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down. I'm in this. So yeah, I wanted to come down and support that.
In your life,
Yep.
how does it like have pertinence, and why do you care for? Because it doesn't. It does affect you
Right.
as a man, but
Right.
it doesn't. But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I absolutely know what you're saying. I think, so I have to go back to that freedom part of it, right? So man or woman, you're trying to take away, like the Supreme Court is trying to take away something like that. Honestly, they should be protecting, right? Because it's your own personal freedom. So I think, for me, that was really important. And then, I love my wife. I love, and that's it. It's important for, it's important for her and anyone else to feel like they can make their own choices with nobody's like commentary on it, nobody's rules on it. It's like it's their thing, and so that's why I'm here. I don't think that should be even an issue, right? Like you're gonna take something away, like that should just be like you were born. You have a certain innate freedom that's built into being a human being. And I
Right.
feel like that's.
So you have a wife. Do you have any daughters?
No, I have a son.
You have a
I
son?
do have a son. So, but again, like you say, like it might not affect me like directly, but at the same time, like we all have to like be a part of like driving, I want to say the darkness kind of out. I don't want to get all like cryptic, but drive the darkness out, right? So he needs to also be, brought up in a place and in a community that supports that sort of thing, I feel. So I think it's important.
So as
sister.
a man, as someone who
Yeah.
identifies as a man, why is it important for men to care about our body autonomy and our reproductive rights and things like that?
Well, I think because it's going to take sheer numbers to change this thing. What happened was a huge mistake, and I'm all for.
And what happened? Are you speaking
I'm
about
talking
vote
Supreme
Roe
Court,
v.
Supreme
Sway?
Roe v. Wade. Yeah, that's a huge mistake, and I'm okay. Like learning is about making mistakes. Failure, you can't have like a success without failure. It's a big mistake, and I just think it needs to be fixed. And I think there is power in numbers, be it someone who identifies as a man or a woman or whatever they're choosing to identify with. I think it's important. So I think
Is that a
that's
lesson you're going to teach your son?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I hope. I mean, he's such a little guy right now. He's only 16 months, so I mean,
Can't start too soon.
I just want to bring him up in like an environment that is like leads sort of with compassion and love and empathy, and like that's the world I want to live in. So I want him to live in that world because I think those are really important values and really important things.
We
So
need more men like you.
that's what I want for him. So well, thank you. But I mean, yeah, that's I don't know. I just think that's like human stuff.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really
My pleasure.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, my
Great
pleasure.
to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
I'll
And tell
see
me your
you.
name again.
Chris Hadgis
Chris
with the Radivist.
Activist.
Yeah, the
All right,
Radivist.
Jason Mielides.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Are you Greek?
I am Greek. Are
Oh
you?
my God! Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at you
What?
and I'm like, this,
My people.
this is homeland.
That's amazing.
What generation? Like American?
I'm second generation American. My mom's side is from Cyprus, and my
Okay.
dad's from Macedonia.
So you're 100%.
100%. My real name's Chrysafi,
Oh my.
which means
I don't know.
gold.
Okay, so I don't know. So
Wow. Where's your family
So
from?
my dad is, I'm first generation on his side to be
Very
born here. My dad
nice.
came over when he was 2
Wow.
or 3 years old in the 30s. This is a cool story if you got a minute.
Yeah.
But my grandfather got a job teaching. He was a theology professor.
Oh, sick.
And he was teaching theology at American University in Beirut, and he got a job to teach at Boston College for someone who was going on sabbatical. So he brought his whole family. So my dad, his sister, his brother,
What's your dad's name?
Stephen.
Steven.
Yeah, Mielides, same last name.
Yeah.
And so he brought the whole
Was
family.
he teaching?
No, so my grandfather was teaching. It
Your
was my
grandfather,
grandfather,
okay.
right? He was teaching theology, and so
Okay.
he got a job at Boston College, but it was 2 years, and that was all it was going to be, and then we're going to go back.
Right.
And that was 1937. And in 1939, sabbatical was over for this other professor he was filling in for, and they were on their way to basically get on the ship to go back. And like Hitler invaded Poland, and my grandfather was like, all bets are off, we're staying. And he kept the family here. They moved to Ohio, where I grew up and was raised, and he became the head of theology at Oberlin College. And so
That's
that was his
incredible.
story. And
Was
yeah.
he a priest by chance?
No, he wasn't.
No,
He was
okay.
just like a
He
professor.
might tell.
Yeah.
Is he still with us?
No,
on this earth?
no,
Oh,
he died
shoot.
before I was
Okay.
even born. So I know
Okay.
very,
My
very
grandfather
little.
was a philosopher and a priest. His name was Sophocles. So
No way,
he
my
would have
grandfather's
known
name was
your.
George, yeah.
Oh
but
my God, that's wild.
so they stayed, and then my other
Wow.
half of my family's Dutch, so
Oh,
and
neat.
100% too. But they're a couple generations.
That's so
Here.
cool. I haven't met any other Greek people in the Upper Valley, so it's so nice to meet you.
Awesome, nice to meet you. So very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool.
Good
And that's
stuff.
my wife Molly.
Oh, hi, Molly. We're
This is
very
Chris,
well-spoken
Krista.
husband. No, just Chris.
Just Chris.
Yeah, in
From
in
Radivist.
Greek it's Chrysafi. He's
Chris Davi.
we need
From the
more.
Radivist. I
We
just-
need more like him out here.
Anyway.
raising
Hat
the
on
goat.
backwards, like come
That's
on.
so
Ev.
funny.
Damn it.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Great
So
to
nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
Thank you so much. So I have here with me a fellow rider who just rode the Repro Ride with us, and his name is Charlie. He's
I'm a state representative for representing Woodstock, Reading, and Plymouth in Vermont.
awesome. Charlie, what brought you out to the Repro Ride today, and why do you find it important to support women's bodily autonomy?
I've been in the legislature for 6 years, and during that time we voted twice. I voted twice in favor of putting it on the ballot for voters to put in a constitutional amendment to preserve reproductive rights, and also a state law in order to also do the same, to basically codify in statute what already exists in case law. So I'm in favor of it and support of it, and so when I saw that the ride was going on, it's like, I want to participate. So I'm a cyclist, and it's like, this is in my wheelhouse, no pun intended, and I really wanted to be a participant.
Excellent. And do you think Vermont is at risk to lose our rights on November 6th?
I don't think Vermont is at risk to lose our rights. No, Vermont is pretty progressive looking. I mean, we've got a long history of really being very forward looking when it comes to liberty and individual rights. And so this is really an extension of that. So Vermont is being really forward thinking. So I don't think it's a threat against Vermont necessarily, but hopefully Vermont can lead the way in saying this is important enough to put it in your constitution.
Excellent. And do you think by creating this Repro Ride, do you think there will be a trickle down and a positive influence across state lines?
Yeah, I think this makes it really accessible for people who are cyclists or just interested in getting out, the runners too, and making it a very democratic, small d process so that people can participate, say, I support this cause, I'm going to do what I like to do anyway and exercise my vote.
Excellent. Charlie, how does this affect you on a personal level in your life?
Well, I have close contacts and relatives that have been on either side of this issue. Some that have had to end a unwanted pregnancy, and those that have carried an unwanted pregnancy to term and given up a baby for adoption. And so they've both made very difficult choices along the way, but it was their choice. And that's the most important thing, is recognizing it's their choice and they have to live with the consequences, good or bad. And in both cases, I know that individuals, it was very hard for them. They took a lot of thought and approach to it, and they made the right decision for themselves at that point, and that was right. And I just want to make sure that we preserve that option.
And they were able to do so because they had access.
That's right, they had access. In one case, it was definitely access in Vermont, and I think we're not at risk of losing that access necessarily. But it was even the thought process of saying we want to make women in particular aware that they have the choice themselves, that nobody else is going to tell them what they can or can't do with their bodies. So that's really what I think is the most important thing with this.
And how do you feel about people losing their rights right now in other states?
Well, I'm hoping that that trend will slow down. That the population, the general population, 70% of the people support a women's right to choose, and survey after survey. So hopefully they will make sure that their elected leaders and representatives will follow their desires and their opinions on that. So,
but candidly speaking, do you think people, I mean, it seems just from an outsider perspective that things are getting more strict in other states, that more rights are being taken away, that people are concerned that we're starting with women's rights and that's going to trickle down to gay marriage, to other rights being taken away. How do you feel about that?
that is a cause for concern. I still believe in the great American experiment in our democratic process, so that we will at some point in time have that pendulum swing back to look at preserving those individual choices and those individual rights.
And you think that will happen?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we've gone backwards, right? So Roe v. Wade.
Yep, and that's the interesting thing about trends, political trends in Vermont and in the nation. They come and they go. So I think this is a temporary move to conservatism in other parts of the country, that you then will see a greater discussion about individual rights beyond that. So it's not permanent. That's the interesting thing about democracy. It's not permanent at all. And so we'll see some of that stuff come back.
And what can we all do to make sure that we move in a more progressive movement and direction as a nation?
I think it's just being vocal, making sure that that you go out and talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family, and they're very uncomfortable conversations sometimes. It's a definite way to ruin a dinner party to have these political conversations, but you know, it is important to make sure that people are talking about it, and it just doesn't get swept under the assumptions about what you see in some really extreme social media. That you want to talk about the facts.
And talk about it or write about it, right?
Or write about it, that's right.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming out. And is there anything else you'd like to share about the Repro Ride?
I think it was wonderful. I mean, the people did a great job organizing this. And again, it democratizes for us that are involved in the outdoor recreation economy and just athletes that want to get out and do stuff and say, how can I meld my interests and my avocation?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Charlie.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. Have
Great
a good
talking to you.
enjoy the rest of your day
Nice.
here.
You too.
Thank you.